So I don't remember what day we're on. What day are we on? Do you know?
It's a day for sure.
All right, so a lot's happened since you guys have last seen the plot. This is the second plot of 3, and what you see behind me here is what I've been spending a lot of the last week doing, but that's just digging stumps. So that's kind of the stage we are. The logging crew came through, knocked down a lot of the trees, left the tops, and there's a ton of stumps and a ton of tops. So what we're doing is we're taking this equipment, and you can see there's a hydraulic thumb on there. So you can go in and pick up brush, pluck, pull, place, and we're pushing all the brush in really strategic spots on the side of this plot here. And what they're doing right now is they're digging stumps, and that's really the most time consuming of this entire process. And we're gonna introduce you guys to the guys operating the equipment. That's Austin and Levi. After we get all these stumps out, there's a bulldozer over here, and we're kind of level everything off, making it plantable. And that's kind of the stage we're at in the second plot. So we got one more to go, and that one's gonna be a lot of work as well. So, yeah. All right, so we're here with...
Just kidding. All right, let's go. Restart.
No, this is good. So we're here with Austin Cagle.
Yep.
Just introduce yourself real quick. Tell us about your company. You've obviously done this before.
Yep. Well, you already introduced my name, but Citywide Construction. I've kind of been in the dirt works for, I don't know, 10 years now. Started doing food plots.
Here, put your sunglasses up. People want to see your eyes.
I gotta have the glasses on.
Okay.
Dude. It makes me feel better. It's like my mask, you know?
That's fair.
It's like my mask. The man of mystery. But I started doing food plots. Really enjoyed it. I really like being outside, except for the horseflies. But, and then I started moving on to excavating and buying bulldozers. And I don't know, it kind of just took off from there.
So you've been operating equipment like this for how long? Like, when did you start?
Probably 15, 20 years ago. I mean, I've been running equipment for a long time.
So when we're doing, like, specifically, we're clearing land specifically for the purpose of, like, food plots, you know, planting crops at some point.
Yep.
Are there other ways to do what we're doing? Like, we're obviously taking an excavator, we're digging the stumps out.
Yep.
Is there, like, another common way to do this?
So a lot of common is forestry mulching, getting all your invasive out, and then going in to do your select cut. Because I mean, all this brush and timber, we could really chew down to nothing, and you know that could help. As far as stumps going for food plots, a lot of guys just leave them. You know, they put the salt licks on them and let the deer eat them, which they do. I mean, they really do. I mean, it may take 3 years, but them deer will eat it down to nothing. You'll still feel it with a till or something like that, but over time it will. You know,
so we're doing it the hardest way possible.
Well, we're doing it the right way. There's no better way to get the root ball out, and you know,
make it
that way when you come in with the disc, you can disc it. Not, I mean, you're gonna hit rocks here and there, but you know, this is the best way to do it.
All right, so if somebody's listening and they want to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Just contact me, Citywide Construction, or just you know, get a hold of you and get a hold of me. I'm sure we'll leave my number on the bottom or something like that. So
one thing I want to just say, we've been working together for what, 3, 4, 5 days now? Like actually on site. We've done a lot of, you know, back and forth, but he's done a really good job. I'm very anal, I'm very like, want to have everything done, and he's taken the time to like, you know, we'll look at, you know, what we're gonna do before we just start doing it. And same thing with Levi. Levi's been helping, one of the guys that works with you. And it's just been seamless.
Like, it goes back to having a passion for it. I mean, it really does. Like you really, it's not a job to me, it's more of a passion. Like you gotta enjoy what you do to be able to do something like this. Hey guys, so I just wanted to take a moment in the office here. You know, Austin is a really, really good guy. We hit it off, and that brings me to a point I wanted to mention. I interviewed probably 3 or 4 different excavation companies to come in and do the job, and I just really wanted to just give Austin some flowers because, again, he's passionate about hunting. He understood the project exactly, and when we originally walked through the property together and I explained to him my vision, you know, we just hit it off. Like, I could tell he was gonna do a good job. He had some different recommendations of different, you know, tasks that he wanted to do a certain way to make the deer traffic funnel in, and he was just a cool guy to bounce ideas off of. He does a really good job. He's got a really good crew. They were timely, and again, open communication is everything, and I could tell right off the beginning that he was going to be a really good fit for the project.
All right, so I just wanted to point out, this is a pretty big tree, right? This is a hickory tree. They did log this, and the actual log is gone, obviously, but digging up a stump and root ball about this size is anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. So when you think about, we got 2.5, 3 acres here, it's a lot of work digging one of these out. You end up coming off on one side, you dig, go on the other side and you dig, and then you reposition the machine and do it the exact same thing. So you basically, all sides are dug out, and then you're plucking these out of the ground, and just an incredible amount of weight with all of the soil that's on the bottom of these, especially in this clay soil. So I mean, take a pan here and just look around at like all these root balls. This is a lot of work. Like right here, this is a hickory tree. This is from the ground all the way to the bottom. I mean, we're talking 6 or 7 feet. It's just a gnarly root. So that's what the name of the game is right now, is getting stumps out of the ground. So he knows what he's doing and I don't. I couldn't get this out and I left it. So let's see how easy it is for him to get it. If you see, so what he's doing, he'll put the bucket up underneath the stump pretty good. And then he puts all the weight. So you can see his machine's coming up off the ground and he's using the sheer weight of the machine and rocking it. This is a 308 Cat. It's about 20,000 pounds and it has a hydraulic thumb on it, which is essential for what we're doing because that's how we're picking all these stumps up. That's how we're moving brush. We're able to pick things up, move it. And then over here, this is a John Deere 450J, and that's a bulldozer. So basically that's what we're using to lay all this ground down, excavate. And then over here, this is a mini excavator. This also has a hydraulic thumb to it. Even though it's smaller, it's got a lot of power, and it's just really nice to have. You can get in tighter areas, it's more mobile. I really want to get one of those someday because it's just a lot of fun to drive. You know, one thing also I wanted to just touch on is, I said this early on, I've never really operated these, and the first couple of days that I was out here just kind of trying to get my bearings in it, it's like it jolts your body around a lot when you're using it properly. And the first time that I got out of it after operating the equipment for, a couple hours or so, I got out and my legs were all weak and like my body it felt physically demanding. So I just didn't realize that. It seemed like a really cushy, cozy place to be up in a, air-conditioned cab, but it's very, very much a physical task. So that's one of the things that I've really learned while operating these.
All right, so when it comes to big, heavy equipment, I'm completely a newbie. I've driven tractors with front end loaders, ran a bush hog, but when you're talking about a really, really big piece of equipment like that, I just had no experience. And, again, I didn't realize, I kind of figured that was going to be a really easy job. You're moving your hands, everything is, you're locked in there. There's air conditioning, there's heat, you got the radio going, you can connect your phone to the Bluetooth, but there's a lot of rocking, rolling in the terrain that we were on. Like, it's just really rough on your body. So I just had a whole new level of appreciation for folks running those big pieces of equipment. You see them on the side of the highways, but it's just very physical. You're in there, we're rocking the stumps, and it's just, my body was super sore. So there's a lot of technique to it. There's a lot of skill that's involved. I mean, anybody can get up in there and start moving the arms around, but there's technique to making every little piece of the puzzle efficient. And when you're doing the same thing over and over, just digging stumps all day, you start to get a technique, and there's certain things that work better than others. And it was a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys enjoy this footage. It's really cool digging out a lot of stumps, so enjoy it.
So one of the things that has kind of changed throughout this entire process is there 3 plots, is there 4 plots? Like, do they connect, do they not? And I think we originally started with 4, and what the current plan is at this stage is there's 3 plots. Plot 1 is the smallest, plot 2, that's the biggest, and then this little neck down right here, this is what is connecting plots 2 and plots 3. And plot 3 has not been touched yet. So then we're gonna get a little bit of footage, show you guys what it looks like after the logging crew. The logging crew's done in there, and now we're about to move in after we finish plot 2. And I think we should show you guys the before, because it's incredible within a couple of hours, 8 hours time, what all this machinery can do to just transform everything. So let's go check it out. This is incredible to me even. So again, plot 3, we're looking at it. It goes down and then up. So yeah, so you're basically filming from one of the high points, and I'm gonna just kind of walk down here to the center, just to give you guys an idea. All right, so right where I'm standing here, this was a white oak flat. Tons of white oaks, big mature white oaks. So from the logging project, a lot of money came from this area right here. I mean, this is just the most wild transformation that you could ever imagine. I'm glad that we had the forethought to just document all this and show you guys what it looks like. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's a big food plot right there. What's up, everybody? It's the next day and we're on plot 3. We kind of finished the rough end of plot 2. And we started with plot 1, and that was the easiest, the smallest. Went to plot 2, a little bit bigger, a little bit more work. Plot 3 is definitely going to require the most time, the most labor. We kind of spitballed yesterday, you know, what's the strategy on this? Where do we pile the brush strategically? And so if we pan over here, right behind this brush pile, there's a trail that runs the entire length of the plot. So the strategy is we're gonna leave a couple of openings from this trail to allow deer to funnel into the plot, but we're gonna just pile a wall of brush and stumps so that if you wanted to, potentially somebody could walk down that and the deer that are up in this plot would have no idea. The elevation, I think, is the biggest challenge here with just, you know, trying to, you know, use a big piece of equipment that's 20,000 pounds on a hillside, digging out a big stump. It gets kind of sketchy, so I think that's going to slow us down. I don't know what the day's going to hold, but we kind of got off to a slow start. We ran out of diesel. We had to go pick up a part, so things happen, but that's kind of today. All right, y'all. So one thing that I've really learned throughout this entire process is that you go into a project like this and you have an idea of how it's gonna go, and you can't be married to the original plan because things change, right? So again, we were just discussing how originally we were gonna put a lot of this brush in this third plot down in that low spot and fill it over. I wasn't married to that idea after talking with some of the guys that have been doing, you know, land clearing for longer than I have. Look at this barrier. Like, I can walk right down this trail. I could drive a machine if I wanted to and never be seen because we have this big wall of debris, right? This is pretty cool. So when you think about it, this entire path all the way down is gonna be a wall. And it's basically unplannable too because it's on such a grade, and it works perfectly. So. All right, y'all. So that kind of wraps up this episode. We got a lot of clearing to do. We got a lot of stumps to pull out of the ground. And I think the next time that we get an update, we're gonna have a lot of the grading finished, and we're gonna be doing like a final walkthrough with Austin and the crew to just make sure everything's kind of tucked where it needs to be. The corridors are open and everything looks good. And then we get to go planning. So he's gonna bring in a Harley rake. That'll be like the next finishing touches, and then we'll lay down some seed, and that's going to be exciting. So we'll see you guys in the next one.